story. Please welcome back to the program, Ronnie Rowe.
How you guys doing?
Pretty good. How you doing, man?
No complaints. I'm alive and well, you know?
That's good. That's good.
Excellent.
Yeah, man. It's, I think, we had you on about 4 years ago, around the time that Black Cop came out.
Oh, yes.
And that was such a great movie, such a powerful character, it seemed like such an interesting character to get to play as well. And now we have you here talking about The Porter, which is also seems like another great character to play and a very important character talking about history.
Yeah, it's an absolute gift, man, you know, to relive history, and such an important part of history that is untold is yeah, I'm very, very honored to be playing a character like this with so much meat and layers. So yeah, I'm loving it.
Yeah, no, because like when you were sitting down to watch the show, I wasn't really sure what it was going to be all about, other than obviously, you know, train porters. That's what I didn't know a lot of the backstory behind everything. But as we're going week to week and seeing the history of things, and you know, and what your character Zeke is in the process of trying to accomplish as his, like, one of his main goals, and then, you know, watching some of the stuff that he's going through from episode to episode, it is a ride and a half. And I gotta think that it must be, you know, super awesome to be able to play a character like this, who, you know, he's got a wide range of backstory and history and things that make him tick. You know, like for you as an actor, like, how is that playing that out? You know, like the different aspects of who Zeke really is.
Honestly, I think it's one of those roles that you kind of hope for as an actor. You know, when you start acting, you're like, you want to get that stuff that you have to put so much into, because there's so much behind it. And I feel like Zeke is one of those characters. I always wanted to play a character like Martin Luther King, and I feel like Zeke is that thing that I was asking for. Yeah, it really is a dream, and I'm so thankful for the opportunity that the creative team gave me, and the trust that they had for me to kind of bring these different levels of vulnerability and emotional range, you know, because he goes through so much, and to just think or know that people actually had to go through these kind of hardships is like, it's mind-blowing, man. It really is.
No,
Yeah,
totally.
I was, speaking of that, I was watching the episode where Zeke crosses the border. And yeah, I just was like, it's always interesting watching something where you get so angry about something that, you know, it's, in this case, you know, like, I know it's based on history, and obviously we understand that events happen certain ways, right, and have happened and continue to happen, but it's still infuriating to watch.
Oh yeah. No,
you know, especially when we identify with Zeke so much, because here's a very you know, hardworking, proud man who's doing his best to get through in life and is dealing with shit.
Yeah, dealing with just the biggest asshole on the fucking planet right there.
You know, it's a testament to like what these people had to go through, and what like people still have to go through in different parts of the world. Like, not only do you just have to be a human that goes through stuff, you have these people that are just making it harder for you because of the way you look or what you might believe in or whatever. So yeah, I think that's one of the beautiful things of this show, is that it shows that the layers of regular life, and then the obstacles that will come in because of ... So yeah, Zeke goes through the ringer, man.
Totally. Now, I saw you on Instagram talking with Mel Amin just before one of the episodes, and one of the questions that was thrown out to you was, what's the question that your character has to deal with? And you were like, does Zeke have to be defined by the fear of his past, or can he overcome it? And I just wanted to know, looking at that character and thinking about this backstory, which is hinted on throughout the stuff that Zeke has had to deal with even before becoming a porter, how much fear is Zeke still carrying when he's going forth trying to put this union together?
Oh, like every time he has a conversation with Junior, like Junior reminds him how absolutely far left what he's trying to do is, you know what I mean? So that reminder of you know what you're actually asking these people to do. So I feel Zeke lives with the fear every day, but I feel just like in real life, there are things that scare us, but we have to embrace them in order to get past them and to get to the place in which we want to get to. Mm-hmm. So I don't think the fear ever escapes him. I think he's just at a point where it's gotten to that place where he can't do what he's been doing. He has to do something different.
Right. So as I watch the show, the other thing that I notice about it, of course, is that not only are you guys telling a very, important and interesting story that, for a lot of people, as you mentioned earlier, we did, some of us had no clue about. We had no idea that this was something that had happened. But the other thing I notice, of course, is that just the level of superstar people that are involved in this project.
Beautiful cast, amazing cast.
Top to bottom, just like a really great eclectic cast of talented people. And so being a part of that collective, and you're a talented guy and you're doing great things, but you're surrounded by other talent. Like, what's that like for you coming into work every day to perform?
Oh, you have to bring your A game, just people like Alfred Witter and Amel has done like a ton of things even before this. You just want to bring your best artist, but also with regards to the history I didn't know much about porters before doing this project. And it blew my mind that something so integral to history and Canadian history wasn't like just widely taught, but there was this synergistic passion that was on set with the people that were part of the cast and the crew. And that's what was so special about it, is that everybody was so passionate about telling this story, and the story of these people. So it had you inspired to work and to just really pay homage and honor, these people that came before you. So I was pumped every time I got to go on set, man. Like, I'm living the dream, being an actor, I'm really living the dream. And then to work with the cast, the people that I got to work with and the creatives, I mean, this is why I do it. And I'm lucky enough to be able to continue to do it. So it was amazing. That's the answer.
See, that's perfect. But I got to ask then, as a follow-up to that, if that, as amazing as that was, how do you deal with wearing those clothes? Because there's just like they got to be stifling. Like, you got to be like sweating buckets.
You know what? It was perfect. It was perfect because it suited what the reality of life was at that time. And I wouldn't have it any other way. I don't want to be super comfortable when these guys were uncomfortable. Because it would read like I was comfortable. So, like all the departments, like the set designers, they created this world that really allowed you to drop into it. Like the clothing, it really enhanced what I was able to bring into it, because it really felt like I was a porter. Like the train, we were actually on like a built train car, and they had hydraulics. And the hydraulics would be moving. So like you're actually rocking. I'm like, yo, this is crazy. I feel like I'm on a train right now.
Oh my God.
So it's, part of our job as actors is to, bring things to life. But when you don't have to act and they actually drop you into the reality of being on a train or being in a community, you make my job that much easier. So I was actually grateful for it being so close to suit that it was.
No, totally. And I totally get that. Giving you that entire experience, of course, is able to help you immerse yourself in the character and feel what they're feeling. And of course, you got a lot of great scenes of Zeke in here. Of course, there's like the speeches and other great emotional moments with people. And of course, the dynamic between Junior and Zeke, that's all a lot of fun. But I really love your performances in the quiet moments. Like after Henry's death, when you're at the club and there's nobody there, and Lucy comes in and she sings a song, and you guys do the dance, and you have you're crying and everything like that. That moment, I love the moments like that. So is it easy to get lost in those moments? Is it easy to just let all the emotion out in those moments, or does it take a lot?
For me, it's, I don't want to say easy, but it just feels right. Like with acting for me, I just always just want to tell the truth within a moment and really put myself in a moment. And, you know, sometimes I use the art of substitution and just think about if this was like my best friend that I just lost, how would that really hit me? And I'm like, that's what it would be for me. So like anything that you saw was coming from a really true place of hurts or anger or whatever the case may be. And I'm like, it's therapeutic for me. I'm like, I get permission to feel every emotion and every color of that. Like, yeah, I have the best job ever.
Well, yeah, no doubt about that. Because like looking at the way that the story is unfolding for us between Zeke and Junior, it's like we're seeing two best friends that have gone through the shit multiple times in life, and they continue even when they don't always get along. They have each other's back, which we saw at the end of the most recent episode, where you have kind of like it's a great moment for you. Again, like what Andrew was saying, like a small moment, but it just like you could see the thought process as you're walking down the line of the train before you join the line, sort of. And I'm like, it was really great to watch, but then Junior comes in and it's like this great bond between these two characters. You working with Amel is, like, did you guys like instantly have that kind of chemistry like on set, or is it like you guys work on it like off camera as well?
You know what? Amel's dope. That like we're actually pretty tight. And he reached out to me as soon as we got announced, and honestly, we started building a rapport from then, and it was actually really easy. And what was really cool is that we're both from Jamaican descent. And what I realized is that the UK Caribbean experience is very likened to the Canadian Caribbean experience. So me interacting with Mel was like interacting with the guys that I grew up with. You know what I mean? We would go in and out of like the patois dialect. And I was just like, this is so crazy. And we had so many similarities that it made our connection of Zeke and Junior so very easy. Like we would talk about other great movies or be inspired about like Deer Hunter. There was a scene that we watched in Deer Hunter with the Russian roulette. I don't know, right?
Yeah.
So watching them, we're like, man, we got to bring it like this. And we would always just try to find things to inspire us, to inspire the work. And we always had that common ground. So we were always just trying to push each other to just try and make this thing as good as possible and really wear our hearts on our sleeves. So it was easy. He's so dope.
Totally. Which one of you saw yourself as the Christopher Walken in that moment from the Deer Hunter?
I'll give that one to him. One to him.
So Ronnie, I gotta ask, of course, because obviously you were your other big show that you were on this past past couple of months came to an end, and we saw Lieutenant Commander Bryce leave the Discovery, of course on Star Trek, and I like that you've left to go to another ship, as it were, and so you can always come back. We can always see Bryce again, and I love that idea.
Yeah, there's so many people on Star Trek Discovery that don't get that option. They leave and they're gone.
You know they're done.
Yeah. So you get the benefit of having the ability to come back, which I think is awesome and amazing. Yeah. But I gotta wonder. I gotta ask you about. You're talking about the clothes and how that made you like understand your role and that time and the period and everything like that. Coming from a world in where you're wearing like basically a giant onesie, and it's like all high tech and gloss, and then you're going to this ultra realistic world that of our past. That when did that kind of culture shock happen? Like, did you film Star Trek prior to filming Porter, or had you already Yeah, you had?
Yeah. So I shot Star Trek prior, and then it segued into it. So I kind of was able to disconnect from the future and
Right.
and drop into the past, luckily, because it would have been pretty messed up if I had to be working with the both of them. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're
You
sitting
wouldn't
there
know
on-
what century you're in.
the hairstyles wouldn't have worked. Bryce has a beard, so yeah, it would have been something. But it wasn't much of an adjustment. But again, I think it actually helped me drop into the reality of the time. Going from like future to the 1920s, you know what I mean? And really appreciate how fragile some things were, like even the cars, because I got to drive some of the cars. I was like, man, and I drive stick. I'm like, this is different, man. I'm like here fighting the gearbox. I thought I was a good standard driver. I suck. So yeah, it was cool that I had that time to actually kind of gracefully segue into it.
Right.
No.
So I know you, even if you, no matter what, you can't really tell us, but can we at least be hopeful that Bryce returns at some point in the future?
I mean, I think there's good possibilities that Bryce will come back for sure.
Okay. This
good.
is what I'll say this. I'm also hoping maybe at the head of a ship himself. That would be like, Captain Bryce, I think would be like super cool, eh?
I think you'd wear it okay. I think you'd wear it well. I think
Yeah.
you'd wear it well. He's ready.
Yeah.
There you go. That's awesome. Yeah. Now, between, of course, Zeke and Bryce, over the years, you've done a lot of great guest starring performances as well on shows. Back in the day when somebody was like a regular or a main character on a series, they'd be locked up for like over half the year shooting that show. But with the series that you're on, you get to be on shows where it doesn't take up your whole year and you're able to jump in onto other shows and do guest star spots. I guess that's probably like makes it a lot easier now to get to explore and not get stuck in a rut, right?
Yeah, I mean, it really, I think it would be something like that would be on a person-to-person basis, to be quite honest, and how you kind of negotiated how you're going to work, so for me, I was lucky enough to have the flexibility to dabble in other things, and yeah, honestly, I've been really lucky to work on multiple things within the span of the same year. It doesn't happen frequently, it doesn't happen very often, but I've been able to navigate with it, and I'm going to keep on trying to do it.
Awesome, man. That's great. It's great. Well, I want to thank you for coming back on the program, man. Really, and we're really digging the Porter.
It's awesome. It
is
great
amazing.
Show.
Yeah.
Thank
you. Looking forward to seeing the rest of the season. And of course, wherever else you got coming down the pipe, we're more than excited to see it, man.
Well, Man from Toronto is going to be coming out, I believe, August. And that's with Kevin Hart and Woody Harrelson. So we can sit down and talk about that too, hopefully.
Yeah, that would be great. Definitely. We'll definitely want to have you back on around then. Totally.
I'm gonna keep on bothering you guys.
Yeah.
Hey,
we love it.
Bother? Yeah, that's not a bother, sir. That is not a bother. You cannot threaten us with a good time, sir. We'll take it every time. There you go.
I appreciate you guys. I appreciate you guys giving me the time and having me on. I really do.
Well, we thank you so much for giving us your time, and we hope you have yourself a great night, sir.
Thank you, guys.
Awesome. Thank you, Ronnie.
Have a good one.
Take care, guys.